I'm here at the STV conference to learn more about STV.
What I like about it is the way it came about. The citizens have the right to vote and elect their representatives. Shouldn't they also have the right to determine how they elect their representatives? And that's exactly what the Citizens' Assembly was set up to do, and they did it. And they came out with what to me is the best voting system anyone has ever devised.
I think the thing I like best about BC-STV is, although it's not a perfect system, there is no such thing, it's the system that I believe addresses most of the concerns that we heard about during our year with the Assembly, most of the concerns that the citizens brought to us or submitted to us. And I couldn't find another system that addressed as many of those concerns.
This 1, 2, 3 system, it should be called that instead of the STV, really. Mark down in order from 1 to 3 to 5 who you like, and then that's how it works.
Single transferable voting is easy to use, and it gives you more choice. You just rank your candidates of preference in order. I mean, if you like person A best, then you'll put 1 next to them and 2 next to the person you like. If you want to do more than 1, then it's up to you, and it's quite easy.
But what really got me interested in STV was the fact that it really offered better representation, more diverse representation.
The best thing that I like about STV is that it's a fair system, and I think it will represent us a lot better in BC than the current system.
It'll heighten democracy, and there's fairer votes. There's less votes wasted. Right now, I know a lot of people that just vote strategically, kind of holding their noses. It's a real big thing that will happen with STV, that people will be able to vote who they really want to have in to represent them. Right now, there's really 2 parties in primary parties. If the person does not like either one of those parties, they really are wasting their vote. Their vote is a garbage vote, and they're throwing away their vote. At least they believe that. And so I think a multi-party system is a lot healthier to democracy, and so this will lead to that, because people will be brave enough to vote for who they really want to see represent them in the legislature, instead of holding their noses and voting for the person that is more likely to win.
The old system of the, what do we call it, the first past the post was perfect when we had the Whigs and Tories back in the previous century. But now we need something more fair so we can all be represented equally.
Is this a fair system, or every vote will count?
I think it's the only way we're going to have proper representation in the legislature. The viewpoints of a lot of people in BC are being left out of the discussions in the legislature.
I'm supporting STV because I think it's high time that we had an electoral system that accurately reflected the views of the electorate, that actually translates votes faithfully into legislative seats. So that's one big reason. I think a second is to improve the quality of representation in our regions, to ensure that we have representatives in whom we have confidence, that we can go to a member locally for whom we actually voted in the election. And I think all too often we end up with members in ridings in which even the majority of electors voted for somebody else, so they don't actually have a representative who authentically represents their views.
BC-STV offers fair voting results. It gives us good choice in our candidates and the opportunity to be involved in the nomination process as well. We have a choice of more than 1 candidate, so we no longer have to take the 1 candidate that the party offers, so we can vote for the candidate that best represents us.
I like BC-STV because it is a system of proportionate representation that encourages greater diversity of political voices and makes our politicians more accountable.
The main reason I like STV is that it gives voters more choice, and it makes their vote more powerful. Under our current system, if you don't vote for the winner, you're not represented in the legislature. And even if you do vote for the winner, you only have 1 choice to 1 candidate for the party you prefer to choose.
My great concern in the world is environmental issues. I'm really concerned about global warming. The reason I'm in favour of STV is that it will enable minority parties to get voices elected and to raise a voice about green issues. So I'm strongly in favour of STV.
The problems that we're facing in society today, in the world, are problems that we really need to work on cooperatively. And I think that there are the opinions and ideas that are expressed across the political spectrum all can contribute to solutions. And our voting system as it is right now is competitive in a very nasty way, because it is very difficult for our elected officials to actually work together. The polarization that we often see in politics in this province and in this country with a single transferable vote will really be reduced. It makes it easier for politicians to cooperate and receive benefits for it. It gets more voices at the table, so that you really need to have a broader cross-section of society on board for any real big decision. And that consensus building is really going to bring politics into the 21st century. And that's why I'm supporting and actively campaigning for an STV vote in British Columbia.
You think it'll give us a better government?
Oh, I do, absolutely. I wouldn't be supporting it if I didn't believe that.